want to start with holding the sticks. We're going to start with the left hand. That's the one that makes the L shape as you look at it. So put your left hand down, palm up. Put the end of the stick or butt of the stick in the pocket of the left hand as the palm is up. And then split your fingers like you are Spock. So I'm going to show that real quick. Split your fingers in a V pattern, 2 fingers on each side. Let the stick, for right now, just rest in between that V or that split of the 2 fingers. Take your pinky and your 4th finger and rest them against your hand like that. So now you're basically pointing your index finger and your middle finger forward with the end of the stick about 1/3 of the end of the stick coming out the back of the thumb. Then close the index fingers carefully around the stick like that. Just slightly curve them and put this thumb to the knuckle. And then that thumb needs to stay touching the knuckle of the index finger. It needs to stay there. That creates what we call a fulcrum point, a 1 point, which is right here, for the stick to rotate like a teeter-totter. If we get 2 fingers on there and we squeeze it like a fist, we can't have that fulcrum point or that teeter-totter. It's locked. So we want to keep it loose so that the only point that we're holding it fairly tight with is this, between the thumb or that pocket of the thumb and the thumb of the index finger, or thumb being against the index finger. So then we get a nice teeter-totter kind of feel or fulcrum feel of that hand. The rotation of this hand should be without breaking the wrist, and I'm going to turn sideways. We don't want to break the wrist. We want the wrist to be straight. And then the motion of this hand is a rotation. So you should see it. When I turn it, it's going to be like about 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock here. I can pull the elbow in and get 12 o'clock, but that's not going to really work for that hand. You don't want to have to always be pulling the elbow in. So we should be able to get the rotation to hit the drum this way as a rotation. Okay, so again, these pinky fingers right here, I'm going to move a little closer. These fingers should be against the palm. These fingers should be pretty free. And the stick, the only thing that these fingers do, and I'll show you, is keep the stick, give it like a ceiling floor. And then the fulcrum still works. The stick bounces in between those places there. So we get that motion. And the motion of this hand is turning like a door handle. So we get a rotation. At least that's the illustration. You can come up with your own illustration of how that hand works, how this rotation, but you can see not breaking the wrist. You can even take your other stick. I'm going to take it, the second stick, and just lay it right against that so that if I'm breaking the wrist, you'll be able to see how you get a space. So just straighten it out so that stick, again, is against the forearm in the back, and then rotate your hand around that stick. That'll give you the right feeling. And this is traditional grip. Should be at least aware of it. You can do match grip with your students in the future. For right now, we're going to learn traditional grip. So I'm going to take this stick away, and we still have the rotation happening. Same feeling. If you forget how that feels, put the stick back under your arm and rotate around the stick. That's the motion. Remember that when we strike the drum, we hit it, and the rebound is like it's hot. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, that would be the left hand. Now let's go ahead and talk about the right hand. The right hand is the opposite. So instead of palm up, it's going to be palm down. What we do is we make a J with the index finger. So I'm going to show that. And we take the stick with the tip of the stick being forward. Again, a third of the stick coming out the bottom of the J. J of the index finger, just like this. Close off the J with your thumb. All the other fingers here are just floating, again, to make that place for the stick to bounce against. So the palm of the hand, fingertips. Fulcrum point is right between the index finger and the thumb. I'm going to turn my hand over so that the back of the hand roughly points straight up. The motion of this hand is like a hinge. So if my wrist, and that's the way the wrist naturally works, I can get a true 12 o'clock or the stick pointing straight up, and then as I come back down to strike the drum, it works as a hinge motion. So I want you to see how that works. So we have left hand rotating, right hand basically up and down or hinge motion. If you were to look at it from the side, it would look like this.